There is no such thing as a way. When we throw anything away, it must go somewhere. My name is Sasha Steere, and I'm a grade 10 student. I decided as a part of my MYP Personal Project to host this event, not only to raise awareness about the global issue of plastic waste, but also to let you know about the alternatives to using plastic in everyday life. Growing up in Bali, I watched as a tropical paradise was transformed into a plastic wasteland. I moved there when I was 2, and it was my home for a long time. That is why the issue of plastic waste is so close to my heart. Over the years, I saw troubling changes. Traditionally, Balinese people use banana leaves when selling foods and other goods, but now, all of that is plastic packaging. I truly saw this change firsthand. When I was little, nature was my playground. My sister and I grew up playing on the ocean and on the beach. We saw very little plastic. Over time, as more tourists and businesses came to Bali, more and more plastic appeared on the beaches, roadsides, fields, everywhere. These changes didn't go unnoticed. Many initiatives were launched to try and make a change. I was a part of a group of young people who regularly cleaned up beaches and worked towards banning plastic bags in Bali. When I moved to Hong Kong 2.5 years ago, the amount of plastic waste didn't seem as bad as it was in Bali. However, after living here for quite a while now, I started to notice the same issues concerning plastic waste. An example of this is the plastic waste that washed ashore from the recent Typhoon Marco. These images were uploaded by an organization called Plastic Free Seas. Look at these images. It's unbelievable to me how much plastic and styrofoam came out of the ocean in one storm. Right after this typhoon, I participated in a Trash Free Seas passion project for HKA Flow. This was eye-opening. As a part of our investigation, we visited Shakakme village and saw the inadequate facilities for trash and recycling that were so close to the stream. This means that plastic could very easily get into the streams, which would then lead to the ocean. When we visited Sai Kung town, we saw an excessive use of plastic wrap products, disposable cutlery, plastic packaging, bags, and much more. We turned around HKA and saw that everything in our vending machines, other than the canned drinks, included plastic wrapping that cannot be recycled. There are even single-use plastic wrapped snacks at the UG Cafe. Last winter, I attended a Global Issues networking conference where I was reunited with my friends from Bali. And it inspired me to start making changes where I live. Seeing all these young people taking action told me that age didn't matter and that I too can make a change. This event is just the first step that I am taking with my student-led group, and there will be more events like this in the future. I'm sure everyone in this room has used a plastic bag. What you bought probably included some additional plastic within it, whether it was a plastic bottle, a cap, plastic packaging, a plastic sticker. Almost everything contains plastic. Now, how many of you know the laws in Hong Kong about plastic recycling? You might be surprised to learn that the only plastic in Hong Kong that can legally be recycled is plastic bottles. In order for it to be recycled, the bottle must be rinsed, have stickers removed, and come without the bottle cap. There are so many forms of plastic being used, but the only plastic Hong Kong recycles is bottles. no straws, no plastic wraps, no bags, just bottles. Let me put the magnitude of this problem into a global perspective. A study by the University of California found between 4.8 and 12.7 million metric tons of plastic material ends up in the ocean every year. There are many types of plastic products that will last a long time, such as chairs, Tupperware, and phone cases. However, half of the 300 million tons of plastic produced each year is used only once. That is all single-use plastic. More than 40% of plastic is used to create packaging, including the hundreds of billions of plastic used around the globe. Each minute, 1 million bags are used, and the typical plastic bag is used for 15 minutes before being discarded. When plastic makes it into the oceans, it doesn't biodegrade. It just becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. Pieces from 1-liter bottles can eventually end up on every mile of every beach on every continent. There is a collection of garbage off the Californian coast, twice the size of Texas. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch has 6 times as much plastic as there is sea life in this area. The concept of the garbage patch is not like an island of trash, as many people envision, but in fact includes tiny invisible fragments called microplastics, which float in the ocean currents. Chemicals in plastic can be absorbed by the human body. High exposure can increase the risk of heart disease, diabetes, hormone imbalances, fertility issues, cancer, and more. Plastic is ingested by marine animals that are eventually caught as seafood and consumed by people. When buried in landfills, plastic can release chemicals that find their way into groundwater. Scientists estimate that 1 million seabirds are killed by consuming plastic every year, as are 100,000 mammals. The amount of plastic being produced is increasing exponentially in the past decade. More plastic was produced than compared to the entire century before that. On the bright side, the plastic being produced is, on the bright side, some citizens in Hong Kong have realized this is an issue and have started to fight for change to be made. Organizations such as Plastic Free Seas, Green Earth Hong Kong, and many more are working towards ridding Hong Kong of its plastic chains. Here are some simple things that you can do to make a difference. When you leave your house, make sure to have an extra bag with you to carry items that you might buy. In your car, store bags for you when you go shopping, or use boxes that stores provide. Buy your own glass or metal straw that you can carry around with you, or simply just say no to plastic straws. Carry your own cutlery and reusable water bottle. Bring your own containers when buying takeout. Avoid excess packaging. Reduce, reuse, recycle, refuse. Small actions by loads of people equal huge impact. Ask yourself, what changes can you make today? Thank you. So for the rest of this evening, my team and I will teach you how to make your own reusable non-plastic bag out of a t-shirt. This will take about 30 minutes. Following this, we'll return here in the East Commons for a trivia quiz and some feedback. Thank you.